Hello everybody, my name is Mike, and you are watching this on Matt Freeman's channel. I've been his friend forever, and we figured I just picked this 1985 125 two-stroke up for 200 bucks, and we figured let you guys in on the process of getting it going so we can break it again. So I bought it $200, started up second pull after I fixed the throttle, and as soon as you start it up, it'll run, but then it just takes off, RPMs go flying up, you gotta kill it. Usually on these older two-strokes, they sit for a long time and the crank seals will get a hole in it. On a two-stroke, the crank chamber, if you will, is what feeds the intake for the combustion chamber. And when it sucks air through that, you have no control over the throttle and it runs away. So today we are going to pull the side covers off and verify that it's the crank seals. I'll probably put them in anyways. But so I'll get you up closer on how you do that and we'll go from there. And I want to mention I am no expert at all, but I get them running usually and we'll get them from there. You just kind of fiddle the seat off. Get a good look at the drivetrain and motor. Seat's trying to attack me. So we'll get a close look at this. Down there your pull cord, and this is the stator side of the motor, so that's what controls the spark and charging system. This does have light brackets, so it should have a charging coil, which means I can put lights back on it. You can always tell because there's always wires going into the stator side of the motor. On the other side is the transmission. This is a semi-automatic, so there's no clutch. So inside here there's a clutch system, a wet clutch system, I assume. I haven't taken it apart. I don't really know much about these. Never worked on one. But all motors are pretty much the same. Need air, fuel, and sparks. So we'll get her figured out and check it out. So what I'm going to do is pull this side cover off. And this other side cover is going to be a little bit harder, but I might just pull this one off to begin with to see what it looks like. This looks like it has a slightly newer carburetor. I did have to put a throttle return spring in it, but other than that, everything looks pretty good. All the cables are, see, they've all been shot. It did come with new cables, or new used. Some tires. But should be able to get it going. Better view of it. So, it looks like we need a Phillips screwdriver. There's all kinds of mismatched bolts on these older ones. I've seen years of people working on them. You always get Phillips, Allen head, pretty much whatever they find to get it to work. But so I'm gonna grab some tools and we'll start ripping it apart. Alright, so we'll pull this cover off. Of course, everything's gotta be tight fit. And before I strip that, I think I'm going to pull these tires off and make it a little easier. I don't know if these are studs. They are studs, so it should feel easy. Alright. So now I'll pull this tire off. I love impacts. Wasn't even tight. That's stuck in here. Run that one in there. Oh, those are tight. Tricked. If you ever get a nut stuck in your socket, can't get it out, what we always do is just throw it on the ground, pops right out. Tech tip. And pull these washers off. About 30 washers on this thing. Really not necessary, but we'll put them on there so we don't lose them. These do have flat washers and lock washers. You're supposed to have locking lug nuts, but these look like somebody just put on regular nuts. No big deal. Crank them down a little harder. This hub is also a little loose. You can see it's got a little play. Might need to run that nut down one more turn. But that's for later on. Tell if tires are a little flat. I'm sure they're full of holes. Probably need some new tires. Alright, now that we can get to that bolt, bring in a little closer again. Alright. Now this one's being a little stubborn. So a little trick getting Phillips out before you strip them is actually tighten them a little, come back off, and they usually just peel right out. Or you strip it anyways, but got one on the bottom full of mud. It looks like I got an Allen head. So I'll grab an Allen head and we'll get this off. Alright, well, I got the Allen head, and it was on there. So, here, this bracket hooks to your pull starter to start the motor, and inside this right here is your magnet off for your coil. It spins around, and everything, all the electronics and all is inside of there. So we got to pull this nut off and hope that this thing will come off. They usually are kind of a pain, but we'll give it a shot. We might have to pull this outer case off to get a little bit better access. So that two nuts on there. No. And Rachel showed up. So, grab a socket and impact, pull that off. First try. Alright, so the nut came off loose. I'm not going to take it all the way off yet. Now we're going to have to get a way to pull that. I do have a pulley puller, but it's slightly overkill. So, let me see if I got a smaller one. So this is a bottle jack pulley puller. So this is way overkill. This is like a 5-ton. Rachel's gonna be my camera operator so you can actually see what I'm doing. This has been broken. What the heck's going on here? This is not the proper tool. They have pullers for this, but they probably cost money. So we'll just hook that in there. Spin this all the way in. What this is going to do is pull this and push on that center stud that's attached to the crank, and it will pull the pulley right off. Or not a pulley, but a stator. You don't want to put too much pressure on it and start breaking stuff. These are usually tapered shafts, so they'll stick. Oh boy. Alright. So they'll stick and they'll go boom and come off. So let me grab it. And that is why I leave the nut on there, so it can only come off a little bit. And it scares you every single time you do it. And it does not look like it's going to give up easily. Nope. We're starting to bend this. So, turn your phone off. Cameraman is gone now. So that's probably not going to work. And bent that a little bit. Bend it back. And I just knocked over the dirt bike behind me. Alright, let me hit the fridge. Alright, so we're probably going to have to pull this side cover off so I get in there and tap it. Yeah, I bet the hell out of that. Motor does seem to have decent compression. So, let's pull the side cover off. That's all there is to it. Looks like it's a bunch of more Phillips. These probably have never came off this bike. Grab a different bit. Looks like it's a number 2. Oh man, here we go. You can use impacts on these, but you run the risk of stripping out a Phillips head on it. And then you're stuck drilling and trying to extract a Phillips head. Oh my goodness. See the corrosion. Focus. Fun. You see the corrosion on that. That's from, this is a metal bolt, or iron bolt, or steel, or whatever, in a aluminum crank case. And steel and aluminum do not like each other, and they corrode and get stuck in. Oh boy. There it goes. Really don't want to strip these out. So what I like to do, I'll usually, on something that's not crazy important, mechanically wise. I'll put a little dab of Never Sees on the threads. So if I gotta get them back out, you don't have this problem. Alright, so now that whole case came off, set that to the side. Pick up all my screws. These are all the same size screws, which is nice. You don't have to keep them in order. A lot of times they'll be different lengths. I usually will just keep them with whatever I took it off of. Alright. Now, we're going to put this back on. One there. Just like that. Forgot to tighten up the pump. There it goes. Alright, I need a hammer. What we're going to do is put a little bit of pressure on this and just slightly tap. I'll show you. Oh, the camera's sticking. Alright, we're going to put a little bit of pressure on this, which is attached to this. And then when there's pressure on it, I'm going to take the hammer and just slightly tap right here. And I'll give it enough vibration to release it. So, a little pressure. That should be good. All you gotta do is just tap. Spin it. On there. A little more pressure, not too much. There it goes. Boy, it's gonna be a stubborn one.
Hey guys, hopefully you liked that video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to keep up with cool content like this one. This is the very first episode of Mike's Garage, and this is his very first time ever recording a YouTube video. So because of that, he's a little rough on the edges, and he didn't actually film an ending to any of the videos. So now I'm here making this one to just simply say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you tune in for the next episode of Mike's Garage. And until then, you guys have yourself a fantastic day. Goodbye.